po. Ayan. So si Ma'am Irish ay ang ating host. Ayan, for today. Okay. So clear naman po ang aking audio, Ma'am Irish. And yung ating video.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much po. So before I start, gusto ko lang kumustahin yung ating mga participants. Actually, kagabi, naghihintay po ako kasi ang closing dapat natin ng ating link for the registration ay kahapon, or nung the other day pa. But because of some concerns regarding sa ating memorandum na nilabas, medyo natagalan po siya somewhere, kinailangan po namin i-extend until 11 p.m. So, yung mga naihabol pa po at na-note natin through their regional supervisors, kayo po ay welcome dito sa ating workshop, and also doon po sa mga nag-register, sa mga nag-last minute registration kagabi, maraming salamat po, and also welcome sa ating orientation. So kanina, nabigyan na po ng pahapyaw na overview ni Sir Mark. Wala namang nagbago doon sa basic theories na ginamit natin dito sa pagbuo ng homeroom guidance. Ang isa lamang pong major na kinailangan namin iayos ay base doon sa nangyaring evaluation. I think meron po tayong mga nakasama dito sa evaluation, at makikita ninyo that some, hindi naman lahat, kasi depende pa rin sa magiging desisyon ng ating mga authorities sa Department of Education kung ano yung mga suggestions and recommendations na ibinigay natin during the evaluation. Ayan. So pasensya na, may nagtitinda po ng taho. Ayan. Ayan, di ba? Parang inulit pa niya. Okay. Sige, next slide tayo, Ma'am Irish. Ayan. So dito po, sa ating, ang i-discuss ko po ay basically yung procedure hanggang doon sa part ng program or doon sa part ng ating DepEd Memorandum on Homeroom Guidance hanggang sa effectivity. And then, for this session din po ng orientation, nag-allot tayo ng panahon upang ma-discuss yung kabuuan o yung lahat ng annexes. I believe ito yung isa sa mga pagkukulang namin sa National Office, sa Central Office, during the first orientation. Napahapyawan lang natin pero hindi tayo nagbigay in full details about the forms that we are going to use. Okay. Yung questions po later, tawag dito. Sige po, we'll answer the questions later. Ayan. Okay, so let's start po with the procedure. So sa ating nomenclature po, homeroom guidance shall be reflected in the class program of every school and other school documents such as SF9, the Form 138, the report card, and SF10, Form 137, the permanent student record as homeroom guidance. However, its details, Learner's Assessment Tool, Annex 5, shall be attached to SF9 and SF10 whenever being issued to requesting party. So dito, nilinaw na natin sa una pa lamang, nung nakaraan kasing taon ng ating implementation, sinasabi lang natin na yung Learner's Assessment Tool ay required na i-insert lang sa card. So this time, let us establish na kasama na talaga siya sa ating SF9. Okay? Makikita na talaga siya doon sa SF9 at sa SF10. This is based on the recommendations din ng ginawa nating evaluation. And then, sino yung sinasabi ditong requesting party? So maaring ito ay teacher o yung advisor para sa susunod na level or yung parent mismo. Number 2, homeroom guidance shall not be viewed as a formal learning area like edukasyon sa pagpapakatao and the like. It shall be treated as a program that will help learners develop the competencies needed in the 3 domains. Hence, its delivery in class is quite informal but still follows the structured learning experience flow, no? So this is very crucial kasi ang treatment pa rin doon sa unang implementation natin is like a formal learning area, no? Where in fact, we stipulated in the first DM 155 series of 2020 na hindi talaga siya formal learning area. So hindi siya dapat hanapan. Okay. Sige po. Sige po, mamaya po yung ating mga queries, ano po, sasagutin po natin yan. So, since this is not a formal learning area, we cannot expect na may mga parts ng mga formal learning area, ibang-iba po talaga siya doon sa mga learning areas natin, doon sa 8 subjects, no? Kanina din, pinahapyawan na ni Sir Mark, ano yung structured learning experience. So, may mga guidance counselors tayo dito who happen to be our writers din, no? Parang nakita ko sila Ma'am Julien, sila Ma'am Lori, sila Ma'am Mariz. Yan po, those are the people na isa sila doon sa mga nag-design kung paano siya maging structured learning experience, no? However, ang naging challenge natin, kinonvert siya into an SLM. Kaya nga yung naunang na-develop na set ng modules, hindi namin siya nagamit kasi classroom-based yung kanyang, ginawa siya in accordance doon sa pangangailangan sa classroom o doon sa face-to-face. So yung structured learning experience, ni-redefine ulit siya at ginawa po siyang, tin-translate siya into a self-learning module. So you know how difficult it is really to convert a learning material. That is why also, para din sa maintindihan ng lahat, yung ating most essential learning competencies, as also explained by Sir Mark earlier, yung most essential learning competencies, hindi pa po ito yung kabuuan. Ito po ay parte lamang at ito ay ginagamit natin habang ganito yung ating nararanasan during the pandemic. Definitely, if there will be changes, if there will be contextualizations, that is expected from our division supervisors, sa palagay namin. Kayo yung mas nakakaalam. We have the standards, yes, we have the most essential learning competencies, but if you see that there should be some changes in relation to the context para hindi magsawa yung bata or hindi magkaroon ng parang yung factor na ito ulit yung topic, baka pwede kayong tumulong din, Ino-open natin yan sa ating mga division supervisors. That is why all of you here, regional representatives, kasi after this orientation, you are expected to deliver another set of orientation for your division personnel, including SDS, including your ESP division supervisors, your division guidance counselors. So we are also expecting na maipapahatid nyo yon sa kanila. This MELCs will not limit you to venture into creating or developing better materials as long as naka-align siya doon sa ating tinitingnan ng mga competencies. So clear po tayo doon. Mamaya po, balikan natin yan. May I request po, paki-mute yung microphone? Yes. Ma'am Irish, please help me. Ayan po.
Yes, ma'am.
Paki-mute
Yes.
lang po yung mga, yes. Oo, paki-mute lang yung ibang microphone. Thank you. Okay, number 3. Next po na slide. Okay. Sa procedure tayo, Number 3, class advisors shall be assigned to implement the program with the technical assistance of the guidance counselor. So if the school does not have a guidance counselor, the school head may assign a guidance designate, but he or she should be provided with proper training specific to the implementation of homeroom guidance. So nakita natin dito, hindi lang orientation yung kailangan. Kung kulang tayo sa guidance counselor, which is really katotohanan yan sa buong mundo, hindi lang sa Pilipinas. Buong mundo, kulang talaga ng counseling professionals, mental health professionals, no? Lalo yung need ngayon, no? So what are we going to do? Magsistay lang ba tayo doon sa kulang kasi sila? No. We are going to have the designation of our guidance personnel. However, limited lang din yung magagawa nila, but at least kaya nilang gawin yung ibang guidance services at kaya nilang i-implement yung homeroom guidance, which is an information service, no? 15% lang naman siya doon sa ating kabuuan ng guidance program. So we have to be clear on that. So other than this, with the advisor, with the guidance counselor, we can also have our guidance designates. So kung tatanungin nyo ilan, depende po yan sa population na isi-serve, no? Kung nakikita ninyo na marami yung kailangan i-serve, lalong-lalo na ngayon, kahit remotely, kailangan pa rin natin ng mga guidance designates, ng mga guidance counselors. Then, sa division level or sa regional level, you can initiate that. Paano yung mangyayari sa ating designation, no? And then number 4, the teaching load. The teaching homeroom guidance shall be equivalent to 1 teaching load on top of the teacher's advisory and subjects load. No? Palinaw naman yan, no? Na nakastipulate yan dyan. Bakit? May iba kasing gugulin sa loob ng mismong homeroom guidance program. Hindi lang siya basta advisor ka, kaya mong gawin lahat, no? Ito ay isang program na kailangan mong i-implement. So there is a need for us to really have a specific loading or for the specific teacher for the homeroom guidance, no? And then number 5, the class program, malinaw naman siya that homeroom guidance shall be scheduled once a week. Okay? At kasunod niyan, yung number 6, next slide please, Ma'am Irish. Ayan. Sa time allotment, ito yung sinunod natin sa ating number of minutes per session. Naka-design siya dyan. Like sa kindergarten, included siya sa blocks of time. And then sa grade 1 to grade 12, ang design po niya ay 60 minutes. No? Ma'am, paano po yun? Halimbawa, Jona, paano kaya ito? Kasi ang ating grades 1 to grades 6, 40 minutes lang siya. Okay. So nangangahulugan na talagang may hati yung session or yung remaining part ng SLM. SLM po ang pinag-uusapan natin, hindi naman sila magse-session, ano? Yung remaining parts nun ay maaring gawin nila on their own, no? Kasi nga self-learning modules naman siya. So basta yung design, more or less, sinasuggest niya na yung kabuuan ng isang module or isang SLM ay 60 minutes. So sinasabi din naman kung 120 minutes, that's good for 2 sessions, no? And then ito yung isa sa pinakabago, yung learning modality. Wala siya doon sa dati nating procedure, no? So the homeroom guidance shall be delivered in different learning modalities depending on the needs of the learner and the school's capability. So ibig sabihin, hindi natin ipipilit na mag-print ng SLM para maging lahat sila ay modular. Maaring gamitin yung ating soft copy ng SLM, ipasa yan kung saan sino yung nag-upload sa mga tablets ng mga bata para doon sa mga may tablets. And then, pwede din siya sa online learning, pwede din siyang offline learning, ipasa lang din yung soft copy. So, open po tayo dyan depending on the needs at yung kapasidad ng bata at ng kaaralan, no? So, yun po, maging malinaw po yan sa atin. And then the learning materials, ito yan, number 8. The homeroom guidance, self-learning modules will be issued by the Department of Education through the Bureau of Learning Resources. This will be posted in the DepEd Learning Resource Portal. So I am also requesting BLR kasi meron po tayong mga issues and concerns in relation sa ating learning materials. We also requested BLR to provide us the complete set, no? Ang target sana natin through your group, this specific group, no? Kasi kaya ako naging very particular din dun sa attendees natin for this morning's orientation. Because gusto ko rin makabuo ng team kung saan madaling mag-disseminate, no? This is true with our regional supervisors, yung ginawa ni Sir Mark na chat group, ayan, at meron din tayong Facebook page ng mga supervisors para mas madali lang. Kasi honestly, ako din po, may difficulty sa pag-access ng learning resources dun sa learning resource portal. So what more yung iba ring bata, no? What more yung ibang wala talagang capacity, 'di ba? So yun. Yan po. Gagawin ko pa lang po yung ating pinaka-group, no? Kaya po itong group na ito ay gusto ko talaga exclusive. Ito kasi yung talagang kumbaga parang ito yung nakikita kong makakapag-mobilize ng mas efficient na implementation ng homeroom guidance, no? Ito yung wala noon kasi naka-base lang tayo dun sa orientation, distribution ng memorandum, pero hindi ako nakapangamusta in the middle, no, nung program kung paano siya ini-implement. So at least kung sakasakali na magkaroon ng lag ulit in relation sa learning materials, ang Region 4A po nakapag-contextualize. Meron sila sa Calabar Zone. Meron din po tayong radio-based instruction sa Region 3. Marami pong mga best practices na pwede nating magamit or i-adapt, no, na dito sa national level para ma-distribute din natin sa ating mga kapatid sa iba't ibang regions, no? Ibig sabihin ko lang po, lahat ng regions, ang target natin ay makapag-implement ng mahinahon. Depende sa pangangailangan. So hindi na natin magiging problem na walang learning materials, wala naman kaming na-develop na video. Pag-usapan natin kasi baka yung Division of Pasig City, they can share dito kay Division of Quezon City or dito kay Region 1, di ba? So yun lang yung ano natin, yun yung pwede nating gawin, no? And also yun nga, yung bilang ng mga self-learning modules. May nagpakita na rin sa akin nung compilation, ang galing. I think this is Calabar Zone. Through Ma'am Mariz, merong nag-download sa kanila nung lahat ng modules for quarter 1 and quarter 2. At nakita ko doon yung kumpletong latag. So I think yun, mga best practices yun na pwedeng i-share din sa ibang regions para hindi na kanya-kanya yung pagda-download. Kasi we are talking about one module lang naman, diba? Or if you want to share your supplementary materials, you can also share it with other regions. So yun yung purpose bakit ko binuo itong team na ito. Kaya ito po ay, kumbaga parang for me, this is a special team na makakatulong talaga na makita yung kabuuan po. Ayan. So yun po, no? That's for our learning materials. Next po, number 9. Okay, so number 9, isa din po ito sa naging usapin during the evaluation, the medium of instruction. So the self-learning modules are written in English, but the regions may opt to translate the learning material in their mother tongue or any language convenient to the learners to ensure participation and interaction during the session and better understanding of the concepts, no? So, ilagyan na natin, we opened yung ating gabay sa magulang na maging Filipino. Much as we want to translate everything, since we started in English, kulang talaga kami sa time, no? But definitely, there are regions who were able to translate it in Filipino. Baka they would want to share or they may share kung paano nila yon ginawa or yung mismong material nila. Basta, ang magiging usapan lang natin dyan at lagi nating babalikan, yan ba ay faithful doon sa ating napag-usapan in relation sa most essential learning competencies? Okay? So, maari kasing magpabago-bago kayo ng activity depende sa nakikita ninyong reality ng mga bata na nasasakop ninyo sa inyong division, no? Alam ko, pagdating sa Division of Manila, karamihan may tablets na. So, yung kanilang SLMs, pwede na doon ipasok. So yung mga English na SLM, since wala nang magiging problem sa dissemination, baka pwede na rin mag-translate or makipag-coordinate with other regions for the translated SLM, no? And then number 10, collaboration with the family and community is also encouraged in order to create a venue for the learners in developing such life skills. So parents may refer to the gabay sa magulang found in the SLM in order to guide their children in accomplishing the activities. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na other than the SLM, the distribution, the retrieval, at yung pagtatago ng pagtatala ng learner's development, malaki yung gagawin ng homeroom guidance teacher. Why? Or ng advisor. Why? Kasi siya din yung nakikipag-collaborate with the family and community. Through them, kasi hindi magsasabi yung mga bata na ito yung life skills na kulang sa akin. Definitely, hindi naman ganun yung daloy ng buhay natin, ano? But ang ano lang dito, we can provide them with a certain avenue or an experience actually para kahit papano, nasa bahay man sila because wala namang face-to-face, meron silang napag-iisipan, meron silang nakikita na ibang kailangan gawin para sa sarili nila, no? Para sila ay hindi lamang nakafocus din sa kung ano yung hinihingi ng academics. Meron tayong mga activities. If you are going to look into the SLMs, may activity dyan na mag-uusap yung mga magulang. Ngayon, sinasabi nila, mahirap kasi hindi namin naiintindihan. So, anong pwede natin gawin doon, no? So, maaari nating ahead of time sabihan na kailangan yung parents, ito yung itatanong sa'yo. Tinry po natin gawin yan doon sa gabay sa magulang. Kaya, meron doon nakalagay ano yung mga ihahanda, ano yung mga itatanong ng bata sa inyo in relation doon sa pagtatapos o sa pagbuo ng module, no? And then number 11, about the orientation and capacity building. So the central office, through the Bureau of Curriculum Development, shall conduct orientation and capacity building to region and division supervisors in charge of guidance and counseling. No? So sa ngayon po, ang nakalagay pa lamang sa schedule natin ay iyong orientation. But we also look into some possible means para makapag-capacity building po tayo. Because we all know we are not all equipped with teaching this particular life skills, no? Pero ito po yung itatry namin na after this orientation, we can possibly schedule another meeting kung kaya po ng mga schedule natin so that we can capacitate you also. Or maaari rin namang you can share with other regions kung ano yung mga capacity building na ginagawa din ninyo, no? Para collaborative din. Next slide. Ayan. So, ito po, alam po ito nila Ma'am Hiner, kung gaano kahirap at nakita natin during the evaluation na talagang may kailangan, halimbawa, ilabas ng maaga yung memo, mag-orient, and all. So, nag-skip lang tayo ng isang linggo, and then we tried our best to craft, no, itong complete na tawag dito, nali po nagkaano lang. Sige po, pag-usapan po natin yan. So sa procedure po, ulit, no, in relation sa orientation, we have the activities. Nakita po ninyo yan. Our activity includes the national level orientation on the implementation. Ito po yun. So sino yung audience natin? Ilagay ko na dyan, regional supervisors in charge of homeroom guidance. So yung mga division level supervisors and guidance counselors na naririto, kayo po ay in-endorse ng inyong regional supervisors. And then, come September 8, actually September 8 onward naman ito, let's just try to really squeeze in the schedule, no? September 8 is your regional orientation. So kayo po yun. Kayo po yung regional orientation on the implementation of homeroom guidance program. Sino po ang participants ninyo dapat? Division supervisors and division guidance designates, guidance counselors, SDS, ASDS, and PSDS, and also yung school heads. Okay? So dito po, tinatry natin na maiayos na yung ating mga SDS, ASDS, PSDS, and school heads ay involved din. Why? Kasi kailangan sila sa pag-implement ng program. No? So I'm talking about the orientation pa lang. Wala pa po yung capacity building. So kayo po yung bahala dyan kung ano yung gagamitin ninyo via Google Meet or Microsoft Teams. And then September 10, that's the division orientation on the implementation of Homeroom Guidance Program for school year 2021-2022. So sino yung audience? Your guidance counselors, guidance designates, teachers or class advisors, and then depending din po ang platform sa division's preference, no? And then September 13 to 17, talagang pinasok po natin siya na by the opening of school year, nag-orient po ang lahat ng guidance counselors and guidance designates, even the teachers. First thing ng school year, we will insert the school orientation on the implementation of Homeroom Guidance Program for school year 2021-2022. That's for parents and learners. So depending din po yan sa school's preferred platform, no? So dito po, dun sa schedule ng September 8, 10, at September 13, napakaliit lang ng flexibility. Hindi ko alam kung paano, pero ang magiging promise lang naman namin, nakaantabay lang kami, and lahat naman ng presentations na kakailanganin, we will provide. Ang magiging concern lang natin, kagaya kanina, yung binigay ni Sir Mark, that's a really, kumbaga parang overview. Doon sa evaluation, may lumabas na sabi, nag-orient yung regional level. Pagdating sa division, hindi lahat ng division nag-orient. So how are we going to do that? Doon papasok ngayon yung evaluation or yung monitoring and evaluation. And ito kasi, even the recording of this orientation ay kasama doon sa ibibigay sa inyo para makatulong din doon sa pagkakascade. Pero maganda rin na kayo yung mismo mag-deliver nitong mga PowerPoint na ito base sa inyong context. Kasi baka mamaya, sinasabi namin ito, tapos yun pala, may special na nangyayari o may mga critical incidents na nangyayari. Even if we design it ng September 8, what if hindi talaga allowed because of a certain bagyo or may mga concerns tayo sa mismo community? Then the regional supervisors, kayo po yun, you can make a decision on this. As long as hindi naman tayo masyadong tatagal at aabutin ng middle of the school year bago mag-implement. Remember, wala na po tayong problem doon sa modules ng first and second quarter. Lahat po yun uploaded na. So dito po, between today until the next weeks, no, before September 13 po, next week, marami na po tayong pwedeng ipagawa, no, na preparation in relation dito sa ating homeroom guidance. Actually, marami rin akong teachers or maraming guidance counselors din na nagtatanong. And we also need to consult you on this kasi silent yung DM about yung sa work, ano ba yun, Ma'am Irish? Yung sa ginagawa nila na parang work plan, the school work plan, parang ganyan. Ma'am Irish, how do you call that po sa field?
Yung SIP po, ma'am. School
Not
Implementation
SIP.
Plan.
Hindi yung SIP. Yung isa, yung ginagawa ng mga teachers regularly.
Learning Plan.
Yeah, I think that's the weekly home learning plan. Thank you po, Ma'am Bern. Opo. Tinatanong nila, kailangan bang gumawa pa nung weekly home learning plan? Mamaya, try natin mag-usap tungkol doon sa weekly home learning plan. Kasi, as far as we're concerned, as a program, parang sa palagay namin, hindi na kailangan. Pero based doon sa nire-require, iba-iba din, may mga schools nire-require sila ng school head na gumawa rin ng weekly home learning plan in relation sa homeroom guidance. So, i-cure natin yon. Magkaisa tayo mamaya. If we are going to require it, then we require it sa kabuuan, no? But kung sasabihin na yung ibang regions gagawin, yung ibang regions hindi, then mag-usap tayo kung magbotohan siguro tayo kung gagawin pa natin, no? Okay, thank you po sa inyong ayan. Medyo matagal na po rin ako kasi wala sa field kaya hindi ko po siya alam. Pero yun po, the weekly home learning plan, pag-isipan natin kung kakailanganin po. Next, Ma'am Irish. Ayan po. Ayan. So number 12, Learners Development Assessment Tool. No? So homeroom guidance assessment results shall be distributed and discussed by the class advisor during the parent-teacher conference. This shall be issued as an attachment to the learner's report card. No? So mamaya, i-discuss ni Ma'am Mel, ni Dr. Melinda Andres, yung details ng Learner's Development Assessment Tool para lahat po tayo ay may pantay-pantay na pagkakaalam tungkol doon sa ating Learner's Development Assessment Tool. And then, very important lang, yung purpose niya ay ma-i-discuss sa mga magulang. Kasi yun lang yung feedbacking, no? Kapag regular na may face-to-face, they can always go to the guidance counselor and schedule, kumbaga parang a conference with her para itanong, kumusta yung anak ko? Or pwede siyang magtanong sa class advisor, kumusta yung anak ko sa klase mo? Bukod sa sasabihin ng class advisor kung ano yung performance niya academically, maganda rin na mapag-usapan kung ano yung mga life skills na nakikita din or na-observe ng class advisor or ng homeroom teacher in relation dito sa ating homeroom guidance, no? Yung mga life skills na nandun, huwag kayong mag-alala, hindi pa naman siya malalayo doon sa mga required per grade level or per age, no? Age appropriate yung mga life skills doon. So, isa po yan sa pag-uusapan sana during the parent-teacher conference. I know it will be very tasking, pero maganda rin na through that, may ibang aspect ng bata na napag-uusapan during PPC. And then, number 13, DepEd schools shall include all expenses relative to homeroom guidance in their annual implementation plan and school improvement plan. So ito ay bahagi rin ng pag-uusap, no, doon sa evaluation na naganap. Nilinaw doon kung saan dapat, no, kung saan yung malinaw na pagkukuhanan. Pero sabi ko nga, hindi naman tayo lahat na yung ating modules ay maaring i-distribute as a soft copy, no? Yung iba po na schools, kino-convert siya into a PowerPoint presentation. That's okay. We welcome that. And then 14, we have to take note that non-implementation or improper implementation of homeroom guidance should be subject to existing applicable administrative actions, no? So ibig sabihin, doon sa non-implementation, doon sa unang taon, we understand na maaring may mga gaps na hindi talaga na-close, kaya hindi nakapag-implement. Pero meron ding mga improper implementation, no? So we have, tinanong kami dito ni Yusek, no, in relation dito sa improper implementation. So sabi nga namin, doon sa improper implementation, siguro ang naging problem kasi hindi talaga oriented. Yung talagang puspusan na orientation yung naganap. Baka ipinasa lang yung PowerPoint or baka iba rin kasi yung mismong kayo yung magsasabi sa kanila kasi kayo yung authority over them. Alam din nila na kapag pinapanood lang yung mga video, kahit ilang video po yung isend namin, hindi din ninyo ma-check sa kanila kung talaga bang naintindihan nila yung homeroom guidance. And sadly, during the evaluation, marami pong lumabas na gano'n na minsan yung personal biases ipinasa na doon kasi yun yung belief niya na dapat gawin. Pero hindi niya napansin na may guidelines na dapat sundin. So gano'n naman po tayo, di po ba, sa Department of Education. So we need to really look into the guidelines, the details of the guidelines. Kasi hindi naman po siya ilalagay dyan ng wala lang, ng dahil gusto lang or dahil nakikita na yun yung cute o yun yung maganda, no? Kaya nga nakita rin namin yung need that we need to really evaluate at kayo rin doon sa inyong ginawa na mga reports, yung regional reports, makikita din doon kung paano ninyo kinascade. Meron doon, example lang, sabi doon sa report, 100% nag-orientation. Nung chinek ko doon sa division at saka sa guidance counselor, pagdating sa guidance counselor, nalaman lang niya yung tungkol sa homeroom guidance. Dahil doon sa mga fellow counselors lang, wala talagang nag-hold ng orientation doon sa specific division. So yung mga ganun, no? Kaya ngayon nagiging very crucial yung orientation. Ang maganda sana maikascade ninyo mismo kayo para kayo din yung authority on that. Alam niyo kung paano din sisingilin. Kasi kapag hindi naman kayo talaga nag-orient, tapos sasabihin niyo, bakit ganito yung implementation nyo? Ibabalik lang din yan sa akin, no? Kaya nga kami din sa central office, hindi din namin yan ibinalik sa inyo. What we did was to really gather your recommendations instead of putting blame. Bakit ganun yung nangyari during the first implementation or the first year of implementation? So you see, ganun po yung magiging dynamics natin starting today in relation sa homeroom guidance. Kaya we really need to be, kumbaga, close contact tayo dito sa mga natin, sa mga itong mga tao na nandito din sa loob ng meeting na ito or sa loob ng orientation na ito. Tayo po yung magtutulungan, no? Hindi pwedeng, ito na yung ginawa ko sa region ko, hindi ko na to ma-change. No. You really need to look into the guidelines. Hindi ka lilihis or hindi tayo lilihis doon sa guidelines. Kasi bago po ito aprubahan, ang dami po nitong pinagdadaanan. Hindi lang po siya from BCD to this office. Dumaan po ito sa iba't ibang opisina. So we really need to consider or rethink kung meron po tayong mga improper implementations or worse, non-implementation in our respective division. Okay, next po. Okay, now, with the roles and responsibilities of DepEd offices, we started with the school, no? Sa school, sino yung involved, no? First, we have our school head who supervises and monitors the implementation of homeroom guidance and ensures that proper intervention for each learner will be provided. Specifically, the school head shall ensure the following: planning for the annual homeroom guidance implementation and monitoring, preparing of timelines or calendar of activities, monitoring plan for the entire duration of the program, and inclusion of homeroom guidance in school forms, SF9 and SF10. Allocating budget for homeroom guidance that is included in the school improvement plan and annual implementation plan, and adhering to the stipulated loading of teachers and class programming for school year 2021-2022. No? Next. Providing, school head pa rin po ito, providing the necessary equipment, no? Computer, printer, photocopier, risograph, and supplies. Strengthening partnership with stakeholders. So dito, sa stakeholders natin, we involve our parents, our partners, no? Outside school. Yan. Orienting the teachers, parents, learners, and other stakeholders. Creating mechanisms that would ensure efficient distribution and retrieval of homeroom guidance modules and outputs. Preparing and conducting of homeroom guidance class observation, Annex 1, and submitting the homeroom guidance school implementation report. So yun pong Annex 2 natin ay bago din dito sa ating DM na ito. And malaki yung role ng school head. Kaya kailangan mai-orient din sila ng division supervisors, no? Or ng division supervisors in relation sa implementation ng homeroom guidance. The next slide. Next, number 2. The guidance counselor or guidance designate serves as the program manager and ensures the correct content and pedagogy of homeroom guidance in school. Specifically, the guidance counselor or guidance designate shall ensure the following. A, assist the school head in the planning for the annual homeroom guidance implementation and monitoring. Prepare the annual budget proposal on homeroom guidance implementation. Conduct the orientation of teachers, parents, learners, and other stakeholders. Coordinate with the class advisors on the implementation of homeroom guidance. And provide technical assistance to class advisors and other guidance services or interventions to learners without violating the provisions stipulated in the RA 9258 or the Guidance and Counseling Act of 2004. So malinaw po ang role ng ating guidance counselor or guidance designate. Next po. The class advisor, serves as homeroom guidance implementer in the class. Specifically, the class advisor shall ensure the following. A, distribution, facilitation, and retrieval of homeroom guidance SLMs and outputs in different learning modalities. B, evaluation and discussion of learners' development assessment results to the learners and parents quarterly. And then C, accomplishment of SF9 and SF10 in accordance to the learner's development assessment results. D, referral of learner to the guidance counselor only if counseling is in intervention or other guidance services are needed. And E, collaboration with co-teachers and parents in developing the competencies of the learners at home. No? So that's the role of the class advisor. Ayan. Next slide, please. Now, in the schools division office. So dito, pinag-partner, no? Kanina may nakita akong question. Siguro masasagot nito. Nung question na yon, masasagot nito. Curriculum Implementation Division, CID, through the ESP Supervisor in coordination with School Governance and Operations Division, SGOD, through its designated guidance and counseling focal person, serves as the division program manager of the homeroom guidance and coordinates with the guidance counselor or guidance designate of schools. Specifically, schools division program managers shall ensure the following. Letter A, for the Curriculum Implementation Division or the ESP Supervisor. Dahil po kayo yung nasa curriculum, you are in charge of localizing and indigenizing the content and pedagogy. So ano yung sinasabi natin dyan? Translation of SLMs to mother tongue kung kailangan, creation of instructional videos kung kailangan, radio-based instruction, and other blended learning materials. 8.2, conduct orientation to the school program managers. So school head, guidance counselors or designates, and class advisors on homeroom guidance curriculum and guidelines. 8.3, conduct monitoring of homeroom guidance, checking of schools class program, teachers loading, schools monitoring plan, schools implementation or observation. And then 8.4, consolidate and submit the annual division accomplishment report on homeroom guidance implementation. Then next slide. Ano yung part ng SGOD? No? The School Governance and Operations Division. So Division Guidance Counselor or designate, preferably a registered guidance counselor. Siya yung sana nandoon. Ngayon, may tanong kanina, wala namang plantilla. Yes, we are aware of that. Wala ang plantilla position ang guidance counselor o ang designate. No? Kaya nga, through this, we can actually designate people who can help us pagdating sa governance and operations, pagdating sa guidance program. Kasi hindi lang naman siya trabaho. Halimbawa, nung binigay sa amin yung career guidance through a DM then from USEC Alin, binigay niya sa curriculum and instruction. Sabi niya, nasa CI na, malinaw, yung career guidance program. Pero hindi naman maiiwasan, nakakailanganin ng tulong ng curriculum sa governance, no? Kaya nga dito sa governance, kung maaari, no, we can have a technical a person, we can designate a guidance counselor or a designate to provide technical assistance in the conduct of homeroom guidance program. So in your case, maaring may mga PDO4 tayo na nasa School Governance and Operations Division who can also function, no, as a designate in relation dito sa homeroom guidance program as well as in the other guidance programs or guidance services that we have, no? As long as meron din sanang participation kasi hindi talaga mapaghihiwalay ito. Ang idea nung paghihiwalay is not really to sa'yo na yung program na yan, kailangan meron talagang tulungan na mangyayari, no? So ano yung part ng SGOD dito? When you need to provide technical assistance if needed dun sa conduct ng homeroom guidance program. Kung ano man yung technical assistance na yan, marami po yan. Hindi lamang naman po siya related sa guidance and counseling na trabaho. Maaring iba pa, no? Beyond that, no? So yun po yung sana hihingin sa SGOD. And then conduct capacity building to school guidance counselors or designates and class advisors in coordination with the Division ESP Supervisor. So mag-uusap po yan. Mag-uusap si Division ESP Supervisor, pati yung nasa SGOD, kung sino man yung magiging in charge. Tapos, hindi naman yung SGOD na in charge, yung mismong magtotok. Baka pwedeng ang i-provide is yung provision para magkaroon ng resource speaker, magkaroon yung mga ganun po na technicalities na maaring maibigay din ng ating mga kasama sa SGOD in relation doon sa homeroom guidance program, no? Kasi it will be very difficult for the Division ESP Supervisor kung siya lamang yung magtatrabaho in relation dito sa homeroom guidance kasi mabigat din yung demand noong programa, no? And we are aware of that. Kaya nga, nilodge din natin siya na meron ding counterpart sa SGOD. Hindi man kayo yung direct, pero you can look for people. You can look for organizations na pwedeng tumulong para doon sa implementation ng homeroom guidance, no? Doon po tayo pumapasok sa technical assistance. Ayan. And then sa regional office po, we have the Curriculum and Learning Management Division, the ESP Supervisor in coordination with Education Support Services Division or the ESSD. Through its designated guidance and counseling focal person, serves as the program manager in the region, no? So ano yung ginagawa ng ating mga ESP supervisors or expected na gagawin ng regional supervisors, no? 8.1, conduct orientation of division program managers. So SDS, ASDS, division ESP supervisors, division guidance counselor or designate, PSDS, and school head. And then 8.2, monitor the conduct of homeroom guidance. And then 8.3, consolidate and submit the regional accomplishment report on HG implementation. So kayo po yung in charge doon sa pag-accomplish ng report. Yung ibang data para ma-accomplish yung report ninyo ay maaari ninyong hingin din sa inyong counterpart sa ESSD. Next slide, please. So ano yung role ng ESSD, no? Education Support Services Division. Okay. So ano yan? Provide technical assistance in the conduct of homeroom guidance and conduct capacity building to division program managers in coordination with regional ESP supervisor. Very quick lang kasi nakita ko yung question ni Sir in relation doon sa may tatlong malalaking program na hawak. Can you not lodge this, the homeroom guidance? Baka pwedeng mabigyan din ng technical assistance kahit yung pag-provide lang halimbawa ng mga resource speakers or in referring other learners dun sa ibang mga mental health practitioners if there's a need, no? Not necessarily, or baka may mga experts kayo na ma-invite, no? Ayan. So baka may mga experts kayo na mai-recommend in relation dito sa ating homeroom guidance. Yun yung range ng technical assistance na hinihingi natin from ESSD. Kasi halimbawa, sabihin natin about the youth formation. Ang youth formation ba walang aspect ng mental health? 'Di ba? 'Di ba meron din? Kasi pag youth formation, hindi lang naman siya puro leadership. Meron din siyang aspect ng mental health, meron din siyang aspect kung paano sila alalayan sa kanilang academic concerns, di po ba? So baka pwede na ninyong tingnan din na ano ba yung, pwede kayong mag-usap ng ESP regional supervisor na ano kaya yung pwede naming maibigay or maiprovide sa inyo na support. Kasi pagka tinignan naman natin sa kabuuan, ang laki din naman talaga ng sakop ng education support services and guidance and counseling itself. Yung support doon, malaki din yung hinihingi. Though wala sa inyo talaga yung mismong program ng guidance and counseling, pero nagmamatter siya sa mismo kabuuan ng education, no? So we need to really think of ways, no? Not necessarily to limit kung ano lang yung kaya, pero tingnan natin yung ways kung paano makakapag-harmonize ng ating mga tinatrabaho. Kasi hindi pwedeng kanya-kanya lang tayong sagwan dito, no? We are one in the Department of Education at kailangan maging aware din tayo dun sa kung ano yung maaari nating tawag dito, kung ano yung maaari nating gawin. Okay? Nasa ano po yan, nasa palagay ko sa pag-uusap din, no? Kaya nga kailangan ma-orient talaga yung mga persons involved. And then sa central office po, the Bureau of Curriculum Development serves as the program manager in the central office. So the focal person ensures the correct curriculum articulation and consolidates annual report on the conduct of homeroom guidance. And then the Bureau of Learning Delivery ensures that appropriate pedagogical approaches are employed on how to deliver the curriculum content. So ginagawa yan ng BLD indirectly, no? Maaring yung natutuhan natin sa pagbuo ng SLMs o sa pagbuo ng mga radio-based instructions na i-apply din ninyo sa homeroom guidance. That's the part of the Bureau of Learning Delivery. Hindi man siya specific lang sa homeroom guidance. And then the Bureau of Learning Resources ensures the availability of learning resources to the field units, no? Yeah, I think meron naman tayong mga kinausap na din sa BLR who would really look into the concerns ng ating learning materials. Ayan. Sige po. Pag-usapan po natin yan later, yung mga questions. Ayan, thank you po. Nakikita ko na po marami na po tayong mga kailangang sagutin. Okay, next po. 6 is assessment of learners' development and monitoring of the program. No? So, though the intent of homeroom guidance is to help learners develop competencies that will aid them in facing different issues and tasks, it is important to still track their level of development. So, homeroom guidance implementers must always keep in mind that the program shall capacitate learners towards success. Hence, compared to the formal learning areas that are being measured following the DO number 8 series of 2015, homeroom guidance shall utilize learners development assessment tool. So that is our Annex 3. And then guided by the verbal descriptions below. Ayan. So sa verbal descriptions po, meron tayong bagong inilagay, yung NO or no chance to observe. Anong ibig sabihin nito? The learner did not submit outputs or has not shown any of the target competency in a particular quarter. Okay? So ito ay case-to-case basis din naman. Malaman din natin bakit, no? And then NI needs improvement. The learner accomplished and submitted 30% of the output in a particular quarter or has not acquired the target competencies. So doon sa 30%, ang binibilang lang naman natin dito para hindi din tayo lahat mahirapan ay yung number of modules. Halimbawa, kung may 10 na module, halimbawa lang naman, may 10 SLM, at 30% lang yung na-submit niya doon sa buong duration, doon sa isang complete set. 30% lang, 3 lang out of 10. So, ano yung ibig sabihin nun? Needs improvement. At mamaya makikita ninyo, ano yung ibig sabihin ng needs improvement? Ano yung kailangan ng bata? And then developing, that's D. The learner accomplished and submitted 60% of the output in a particular quarter or has acquired some of the target competency. Sufficiently developed naman is D. The learner accomplished and submitted 90% of the output in a particular quarter or has acquired the target competency. And then developed and commendable, the learner accomplished and submitted 100% of the output in a particular quarter and has acquired the target competency and showed commendable application in real-life situations. Paano nagigauge yun kung nakita o na-hit yung target na competency? Through their outputs. Yun lang po. Kaya nga ang pag-uusapan lang natin, since this is an SLM, malaking bagay talaga yung distribution and retrieval. And also, yung pagtingin.
Nagpaatin na sa buko ng region.
Yeah, sino po yung nagsasalita? Ayan. Paki-mute lang po. Ayan, thank you po. So, through their advisors. Kaya nga hindi madali na mag-homeroom guidance teacher, no? Kailangan equipped sila nitong mga bagay na ito. Meron silang certain focus. Okay? Hindi po siya add-on lang. Malinaw po yan sa ating DM. Hindi po siya add-on lang or other task. We really need to give this as a one teaching load kasi iba din yung demand na kakailanganin. And yun din kasi yung demand ng times, no? For our, para dito sa mga learners natin. Ito yung kanilang kailangan sa ngayon, no? Dahil wala namang face-to-face, they cannot really communicate to their guidance counselors or guidance designates who will be the person na maari nilang hinga ng tulong or sino yung taong pwedeng magbigay sa kanila ng assistance na kakailanganin nila. Diba? So, yun. Next po. So, learners' development shall be assessed through their portfolio and performance task. Yung definition po ng portfolio and performance task ay makikita natin doon sa beginning or doon sa unahang part ng ating homeroom guidance policy, no? Or homeroom guidance guidelines. Conduct of homeroom guidance is mandatory, but this is not part of the academic rating. So grades are just descriptive. So ibig sabihin, yung needs improvement natin, needs improvement description shall not be treated as failed, but shall indicate the need for intervention from school and home. In the event that the learner remains at the needs improvement at the end of each quarter, the advisor, guidance counselor, and parents need to work together to provide intervention. Disciplinary cases of learners must not affect their HG grades. No? Lalo ngayon, mahirap yan mag-gauge. No? Hindi naman talaga tayo nakakakita ng paano mag-discipline ng bata sa bahay, nung nasa bahay sila. So doon, ang hinihingi, kapag may makita na tayo na hindi gumagawa, hindi nagsasubmit, or kung nagsasubmit man pero hindi naman kompleto, needs improvement. So there is something na kailangan i-address sa kanya. No? It's more than the completion of the homeroom guidance modules, it speaks something about dun sa kanyang pangangailangan. It's actually a cry for help. You need to recognize that, no? Sa mga guidance counselors, walang reason kasi, di ba? I know you will agree with me. Walang namang reason para bukod sa language. Sige, kung nahihirapan sila, sino yung mga bata na nahihirapan kung bakit, ano yung strength, halimbawa, topic ng strength and weaknesses. May bata hindi nakakapag-submit talaga, hindi siya aware. Bakit kaya? Ano kaya yung need niya? Baka may kailangang intervention para makita din niya ano yung kagalingan niya. Kaya pala siya depressive kasi hindi niya nakikita kung saan siya magaling. Yun pa lang yung mga ganyan. Ayan. So, tama yan, Ma'am Beth, no? They also receive reports na parents yung nag-aanswer. Hindi kasi nila alam kung bakit ginagawa. Ang alam lang nila, may pinapagawang module at kailangan tapusin. Like other subjects, ganun lang din. Hindi nila nakikita or hindi talaga sila fully aware. So ano yung solution natin dyan? Kailangan talaga ng masusing orientation kahit ng mga magulang at ng mga bata. No? Ayun po. And monitoring also. So homeroom guidance grades. Ayan, ito yung bago, no? Based doon sa ating evaluation. Homeroom guidance grades must be reflected in the SF9 and SF10 using the following descriptions. Ang makikita lang din dyan ay NO, NID, SD, DC. Ina-average ba siya? Hindi po. Ang description na yan ay good lang for 1 quarter. Ibig sabihin, it's the set of competencies na dinidescribe niya. Say for example, no, yung bata, first quarter, Ma'am Irish, pakibalik lang po dun sa yung may 30%, 60%. Ayan, yan. No, baba ka na. Yan. Isa pa. Ayan, okay. This is also true dito sa ating 30%, 60%, 90%, no? Bukod doon sa yung verbal descriptions na ito ay makikita natin sa card. Yan din yung magiging basis natin, no? So wala na tayong i-average dyan. Halimbawa, ang explanation yan sa mga magulang, Ma'am Irish, balik na po tayo doon sa SF9 and SF10. Ayan. Ang explanation niya, halimbawa, first quarter, sabi, ang learning modality, halimbawa lang, ano po, learning modality ng bata, halimbawa, nag-modular siya. Pero hindi naman nakakasubmit ng modules pabalik. Natapos yung first quarter. So ano yung grade natin sa kanya? Ano yung mag-a-appear sa card? Sa homeroom guidance? Tama po kayo, Ma'am Angelica. No chance to observe. Okay, thank you, Ma'am. And thank you, Ma'am Luisa. What if second quarter, na-realize ng bata, ay kailangan ko pala talagang gawin. Nakita natin na almost parang 80%, no? 80% na isubmit niya kumpleto. So makikita natin doon sa ating ginamit kanina, almost 80% nandun siya sa developing yata. If I'm not mistaken, developing. Tama. So, first quarter NO, second quarter D. Ang ibig sabihin ba nun, yung same competencies ang mini-measure? Hindi. Ibig sabihin, dun sa first set of competencies, no chance to observe yon. Hindi mo siya nakita. Pero wala siyang effect doon sa second quarter niya. What if pagdating ulit ng third quarter, hindi na naman ito nagsasubmit, nagkaroon na naman siya ng may konting problema sa pamilya. Bumalik siya doon sa hindi na naman nagsasubmit or incomplete submission, bumalik ulit sa needs improvement. Anong ibig sabihin nun? We need to do something about that. Kailangan na mag-usap ng mga magulang, ng teacher. Bakit kaya nagkaganito? Hindi sasabihin ng magulang na, tama, intervention ang kailangan. hindi sasabihin ng magulang na, ma'am, developing na siya nung second quarter, bakit naging needs improvement ulit? Wala pong connection yung first, second, third, at fourth quarter. At hindi po natin siya i-average. Yun po ay malinaw, no? Nasa card po siya. Ayan, nasa card po siya. Pero, nasa card siya, pero hindi po siya i-average. Hindi din po siya isasama doon sa computation nung kabuuan. No? So there is no need to put equivalent ratings or computations for each description. No? Wala namang right or wrong answer sa totoo lang sa homeroom guidance. Makikita nyo lang dyan kung ano yung naiisip at nararamdaman nila at yung kanilang participation para ma-develop yung isang competency. So walang mas magaling sa ganitong competency kumpara doon sa mga ibang bata. Wala pong ganong comparison. Yun po yung dapat na maging malinaw. Ang pag-uusapan natin dito, yung mismong learner as an individual. Paano po siya na-develop through the homeroom guidance program. Okay? Next po. Seventh, monitoring and evaluation. So the success and sustainability of the program will only be ensured if there is a systematic and adequate monitoring and evaluation. So monitoring and evaluation shall be done, yan, from September, mali yata itong na-i-post dito. Pero yung ating monitoring and evaluation is from September 2021 to July 2022 or as scheduled by the department. Reports on the results of the monitoring and evaluation shall be submitted by the end of school year 2021-2022. Iayos na lang natin ito, Ma'am Irish, no? Siguro baka doon sa pag-copy lang. Ayan. So the following are the offices and units directly involved in the implementation and monitoring of this program. Next po. So sa school level, the school head leads the monitoring in coordination with the guidance counselor or guidance designate using the homeroom guidance school observation tool and homeroom guidance school implementation tool. So last year po, isa lang yung sinasubmit, the school observation tool. Ngayon, nilagyan na rin po natin siya ng homeroom guidance school implementation tool. At yun po yung lalabas as a report ng school level, para maging madali po yung pag-consolidate ng division supervisors. And then next po, schools division level, the edukasyon sa pagpapakatao supervisor under the curriculum implementation division in coordination with the guidance counselor or designate in the division office leads the monitoring using the homeroom guidance division monitoring and evaluation tool Annex 3. Division monitoring results shall be submitted to the regional ESP supervisor. And then, regional level, ESP supervisor under the CLMD in coordination with the ESSD focal person for guidance and counseling leads the monitoring in the regional level. So focusing on the entire implementation of the homeroom guidance, they shall submit the homeroom guidance regional monitoring and evaluation tool, that's Annex 4, to the Bureau of Curriculum Development on or before July 12, 2022. So for this implementation, we don't, alam namin na napakarami na din pong reports. So hindi na po natin gagawin yung quarterly report. Pero ang kailangan po natin ay may malinaw tayong direction on our monitoring and evaluation. So sa madaling sabi po, we will have the annual reports. Ayan. Kasi para tapos din sa school level, sa division level, sa regional level. Ang target po natin, yung annual reports na manggagaling or isasubmit sa regional level, from the regional level, ay by July 12, 2022. So tayo na lang yung magtitingin ano yung pinaka-feasible na date para ibigay na deadline doon sa school level, sa division level, para makasubmit sila by July 12, 2022. Of course, kahit nakastipulate po ito dito, yung dates, may certain flexibility pa rin naman yan on a case-to-case basis, no? Tignan natin kasi we don't really know what will happen sa bukas nga, hindi natin alam or mamaya. Ito lang po yung target natin. At least we have the target, no? And then, next slide please. Sa national level naman po, the Bureau of Curriculum Development leads the overall monitoring and evaluation of homeroom guidance. So the Bureau representative shall consolidate the homeroom guidance regional monitoring and evaluation reports and coordinate the results to other bureaus of the central office, that which may serve as reference for future enhancements of the program and related policies. Ayan po. Next. Effectivity. This shall take effect in school year 2021, 2022, and succeeding years immediately upon publication in the DepEd website. Okay, so I think that's it, no? Yan po yung part ko for this morning. Ma'am Irish. Ayan. Okay, so later po, I think may mga questions na tayo dito sa chat box. We'll allot siguro 15 to 20 minutes para ma-answer po natin, no, yung ating mga questions. I will now turn you over to Ma'am Irish para ipakilala po yung ating next na speaker for this morning. Thank you very much po and have a great day.
Thank you, Miss Jona. Now, let's all give her a warm virtual round of applause for that well-explained procedures about the homeroom guidance. So, as being said by Miss Jona, our questions will be answered after the next discussion. We will have a